What is really good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Three Black Guys with the Mic, threeblackguyswiththemic.com. We are back in the building, ladies and gentlemen. Man, I got the nice shirt on. What you doing? You out here ordering some stuff? Wait a minute.
Hey,
I got to go and check the account and see if we get some money for them joints.
There's some money up in there, baby. Some of my money.
Right. You got the red one and the black one and the green one and the whole 9 yards.
Yeah. I'm about to kill them when I come out with the yellow joint. I'm killing them, baby.
Kill them with the shoulders? You going to kill them with the shoulders? Kill him with the shoulders.
Lamont, you so serious. Lamont, why you so serious?
I mean, I'm just admiring.
You got a long sleeve shirt?
Yeah, but I'm admiring.
It's 98 degrees.
98 degrees summer, and he in the long sleeve.
Well, let's be clear. You know what I'm saying? There's 62 degrees on the inside. You know what I mean? So I mean, it's actually a little chilly in here, but it's cool. We're good. We're good.
Y'all hanging meat up in that piece. 62.
No. I was just admiring my handsomeness. You know what I mean? Like
handsomeness.
Yeah. I mean, I see what the big deal is about. You know what I mean? So.
See what all the fuss is about?
Yeah, I see what the fuss is about. You know what I mean?
Like, off of me. I can't keep them off of me. I can't keep them off of me.
It's what it is. You know what I'm saying?
All the fuss and foe because you rubbing
exactly more.
Mo.
What your wife wants to hear. That's exactly what your wife wants to hear.
Well, I'm just saying, like, you know,
but look, look,
the fuss is about.
The people can't get the fuss in because you need to move over just a little bit. You only getting it right. Whoa,
now,
right there.
Now we go.
There we go.
Okay.
Now,
but I had to get this other side to admire that. But I got where you're going. I mean, I'll give him some of this too. You know what I mean?
No homo, but I see what the fuss is about too. You a handsome man.
I don't.
It's a long sleeve.
It's a long sleeve.
It's a long sleeve. That's what it's all
about.
That's
ladies and gentlemen, y'all don't know that we ain't been together in a couple of weeks, so we a little giddy. We see Lamont. He's just shining.
You know, it's so much to talk about, man. Giddy is I don't know where that came from, but okay, you know. It's so much to talk about since the last time we really honestly, you know, got together and had this conversation. I don't even know where to start. Gosh, man, we can start with the Donald Trump and the Trumpettes. We can start with the Carters. We can start with XXX Extension. We can start with, you know, Maynard pulled his weight in Virginia. You pulled that weight in Virginia,
What'd I do?
You picked up the phone, called them, the red.
I had nothing to do with Sarah not getting a meal. Sarah can look.
Don't get a meal in VA. She can't even come to the VA.
Sarah's good. She can eat.
Maynard was like, no. I'm pulling the call into the red hand. Sarah Huckabee Sanders out of there. There.
We gonna have to get Sarah carry out real quick. She can't sit here.
You can't sit here. Nowhere in the VA.
Nah.
I also got to, pull the responsibility from the Mont of handling our travel because obviously we're not at the BET Awards.
Not at the BET Awards.
We just, the Royal Wedding,
but this is the
Kanye
question.
Fest Wyoming, BET Awards. We didn't miss all three of those events.
Hold on.
We can't get on the guest list at all.
Hold on. This is the question because this happened to us once before. We missed going to the BET Awards or the Stellar Awards. Lamont didn't miss them. Is it just us, Lamont? It's just us.
Your brothers can't go. Your brothers can't go.
Well, let me just say this. I was in LA. I'm not going to be I did not go to the awards, but I did go to some of the pre-stuff before the awards.
So you may wind up showing up on television on BET.
Not at the award show.
I'm saying at some of the events, you may be like, you know what I'm saying, standing next to somebody who's on BET at the moment, and we might see you.
That might happen. You know what I mean?
Now we see what all the fuss is about.
Now we see what the fuss is for.
Yeah, that might happen. You know what I'm saying?
Lamont is out here just doing his thing.
We're just quiet, but you got to be quiet about it. You can't be talking loud. You know what I mean? I can't do the Tekashi 6ix9ine. We can't do that.
You just got to show up.
You ain't trolling? You ain't trolling? Okay.
Yeah, we don't do that. Yeah.
Let's start with hip-hop, ladies and gentlemen. Let's start with Nas and Jay Z and Beyonce. So Nas came out with his album, and then the next day, before Nas could even get his joint up, Jay-Z was like, oh, no, we're not playing that. This is my payback from Ether. I'm just going to do my thing. Everybody on the, social media was saying, that this was petty. Lamont, was this petty on the Carters for uploading their actual album, you know, and not giving Nas his proper shine, or was just hip hop?
Well, honestly and truly, at first, my first reaction was it was petty. But, you know, and Maynard's gonna say I'm stunting. You know what I'm saying? I put 2 calls in, right? You know, I didn't call our friend. I didn't call our friend Azim, but I called a couple other people at Rock Nation, and even somebody at Parkwood, which is, you know, the Queen Bee's thing, right? And I was like, why would y'all do that? And I was told several times, listen, Lamont, this was planned long before that there was a Nas album. So if you think that we strategically put together this piece of art just to debunk Nas, you're nuts. And I thought about it. It is kind of a big rollout for J&B to put a record out. You know what I mean? So, you know, could they have moved to a different date? Yes. But that was the date. That's what I was told. I gotta go with that. So I don't think, you know, I think if anything, Nas and Kanye were the last minute, let's put this together on Monday and put it out on Thursday kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Because if you listen to Nas's album, that's what it sounded like. It sounded like they put it together 2 days before. And if you were on Puffy's IG story, you know what I'm saying? Puff even said, yo, y'all playing a record that's not even finished. Because he was in the studio when he was doing Not For The Radio record. You know what I'm saying? When they were doing the show, doing a little thing in Brooklyn. And I was like, I was so confused. Queensbridge. Mm-hmm. So if anything else, it seems like that the Nas thing was kind of last minute. It was up, then it was down. Copyright issue wasn't straight. Then it came up. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't everywhere. It was like last minute. You know what I'm saying? So Def Jam kind of looked a little retarded. You know what I'm saying? Where J&B, you know, Saturday afternoon at 4 or 5 o'clock Eastern time, boop, we up. Made it.
Yeah, I felt like. Well, let me say this on the music. Now, look, I did initially think the same way you thought, that I felt like J&B, and I felt it was more than just, you know, trying to hold Nas from his shine, because there's the Kanye piece too. So I felt there was some friction with Nas is, you know, getting produced by Kanye and Jay still has some unresolved issues, and then Kanye had an album. And Pusha had, like, so Kanye has been, like, dropping, right? So the Pusha joint came, the Kanye joint came, the Nas joint came, all Kanye products. Kid Cudi, right. And, like, you know, was he trying to own the summer? And I feel like that's what he's trying to do, like, own the summer. And that's, yo, you supposed to. You want to try to own the summer. You want to try to, you know, have them bangers that last as a producer and somebody who's running a label. But I would say this. On the Nas album, I don't feel like Kanye is the right person to produce his joints. I feel like he should have been with Premier. He should be with Easy Mo B. He should be with, you know, more classic East Coast artists. There's only 2 or 3 tracks on the Nas album that I was like, that's the feel that I want, right? And I feel like Kanye has a lot of younger, gimmicky sounding music that I just wasn't feeling. Now, on the B&J, like that, the Ape Shit joint.
Hey, my man, whoa, watch your mouth. Be very careful. Tread lightly.
Don't discuss rats.
Don't be disrespectful. Just watch your mouth.
So on the B&J joint, I feel like the Ape Shit joint was dope. I love the visuals from the video. Not all the album really, I didn't meet with it like that. I felt like it's good, but it's not. I felt like this was a B album with Jay featured. I didn't feel like it was a B and J album.
Well, I mean, happy wife, happy life, man. I mean, what are you going to do? Mm-hmm. You know.
I'm sorry, wait, Spud. Do you agree with that, Maynard? Happy wife, happy life?
I imagine that probably works for a lot of people.
Is that a yes or is that a no?
I'm certain that lots of people use that philosophy to have their happiness.
What do you use, Maynard?
I use the philosophy of as long as I got scotch, I'm all right. I'm drinking double black. Hold on, I'm drinking double black Johnny Walker right now.
You know, here's the thing. You know, first of all, if you look at it like this, you know, the internet unfortunately is just such a savage. First of all, if you go to Tidal, right, and you put your $12.99 up, you got both albums for $12.99. So I don't understand why everybody was tripping about, J and B being petty. It's not like you can't support both of them. Back in the day when albums used to come out, it's not like we didn't go to the record store and buy 4 or 5 different albums. We went to go buy a Pac album and a Biggie album and a Diddy album and, but still bought an Ice Cube album or NWA album or whatever the case may be. So we can buy all the albums. We can go to the club and buy a Ciroc bottle and a Hennessy bottle. We should be able to go and buy a J&B and a Nas.
We can buy a Ciroc bottle and a Henny bottle? That's not how my bank account works. So my checking and my savings
But yours is a smart bank account. A lot of those, some of those is not smart bank accounts. But anyways, go ahead.
Wait a minute. Y'all doing too much. Wait a minute. First of all, what's a smart bank account? I don't have one of those. What is that?
You got a smart bank account.
What is that?
You got a smart person running the bank account.
Oh, okay, we got that. Okay, now let's back up to this. Yeah, did it come out? No, hold up. See, here's the problem, Spud, and you know this better than anybody. It's too many records too fast. I read it. Let me finish. Watch your mouth and let me finish, because you already was disrespectful to J and B. We're gonna get to that in a minute. I read a statistic the other day that said between all of the streaming services, they are downloading 1,000 records per day. Singles. Just think about that. 1,000 singles per day are being downloaded. That's over 9 million records or 9 million singles a year between all of the streaming services. Spud, you want me to be on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat. I got to go to work. I got to do my chores at home. I got to feed the dog. And I got to try to listen to Jay Z and Nas and all in the same day?
I mean, listen, people listen to this podcast on their way to work. I'm sure they could do the same thing.
And push pause and then pick it up again.
Okay, we trying to get it over. Wait a minute, that's streaming. There's a lot of people. You remember back in the day.
Singles is a lot.
A year?
A year for how many people are we talking about?
A year is not a lot.
A year.
That's not a lot. I mean, think about all of the. Think about how many 9 million albums, 9 million singles.
That's nothing.
J and B is doing 9 million singles.
No.
By themselves.
No. I mean of different artists.
That's not a lot.
That's not a lot.
I mean,
you all are on this podcast acting like y'all don't have nothing to do.
Let me say something, Lamont.
My man Most Def said this. I got shit to do.
Lamont.
I ain't got time to be going through all of that.
Lamont.
Let me go. Can I go back to what Maynard said though? Because, and I want to ask both of you guys this. What I feel because when Maynard was talking about with the Nas album as well as the B&J album, what I feel now with the streaming services and what, like to your point, Lamont, so many records coming out, I don't feel like there is an impact of longevity with the albums anymore. No. I feel like I just want to hear it. Oh my gosh, I got it. I heard it. And then it's disposable.
Like 3 days later.
Like 3 days that I don't even care. Like I heard, the album, I renewed my Tidal subscription so I can hear.
Why did you renew your Why did you renew your Tidal subscription?
Because it wasn't nowhere else. It wasn't anywhere else.
I got it the next day on iTunes. It was on iTunes like that.
I had to get it. I had to get it as soon as I saw it. When I saw it, I was like, I'm
trying to figure out what is this?
What's the
But hold on, Lamont, what's the strategy? Because it was on iTunes like 2 days after.
Which is very curious. Because
I thought it was on Tidal for like 30 days.
Right after that, like 2 days. And even, one of the guys who is suing, Tidal as well as Kanye, when Kanye last time said, yo, look, I'm not even putting my album anywhere. Apple's never going to get my album. So forth and so on. So even the last time when 444 came out, there was no where you could get 444 except for Tidal.
Like
so
2-3 weeks.
Oh, cool. And then this time, the next day, I was like, well, damn, I could have just not even gave y'all my $12.99. Which I got.
Is the strategy changing?
It's gotta be.
Yes.
But why? Why is it? Is there not enough people going to Tidal? They don't care anymore, or what? I mean, but anyways, is that the case right now? Are people no longer having longevity with the album? Let's think about 444. Most people are not even putting that song in their car. It's cool. It was a novelty. It was like, okay, it's gone. Same thing with Everything Is Love. I heard it. Now it's kind of like, okay, I heard it. Same thing with Nas. Like, I don't have to hear it again. I heard it already. So are the records becoming more disposable now with the streaming services?
No, I think what we are doing, and Spud, you know this as well, Maynard, we have been programmed to, okay, what's next? Instead of, if you go back 10, 15, 20, even 30, 40 years ago, when an OJ's album came out, you feel what I'm saying? And actually, it was only, like I always said, my favorite OJ's record was Family Reunion, which was only 7 songs, right? Mm-hmm. And out of those 7, they was like, no, y'all don't get nothing else, at least from this house, or records were not released as fast even back then as they are now. You feel what I'm saying? Everything is such a rush. Like I said, Kanye's in the bathroom, and he's okay, cool, let's put this up. No, we're going to sit down and talk about it. No, we're going to call X, Y, and Z. It's just like, I'm Kanye West. Let's just put it up.
Well, I think the big thing is there's no, much to your disappointment, probably, Lamont, I'm only guessing, is there's no radio strategy any longer, right? Spud, you used to get a record that came to you on Thursday for a Tuesday release, and they were pushing it. They sent you whatever the piece of marketing around that record. I remember when Death Certificate came out, it was Lethal Injection. They sent out syringes or whatever. And there was a strategy to release these singles in this order, and they were picked, and they were curated by somebody. And for a lot of people, that kept you buying the album through the year. So a single came out in February, you're like, oh, I like that. And some people jumped on the album. Then a single would come out in April or May, and people who hadn't bought the album, who were on the fence, were like, I like that too. Now I'm gonna buy. There's 2 hits, I gotta get it. And then in mid-June came the smash, and so now you got 3 smash hits, and everybody who still was unsure, they jumped on. But now there's no radio strategy. And
so let me ask you this.
Let me say this one last part. And it's also the Netflix concept that Netflix is going to come out with a series and give you all 13 episodes or all 20 episodes all at once. People binge that whole thing through one weekend, then you're done.
So let me ask you this. Maynard, do you know the website that you can go and download a free country and western mixtape?
Yeah.
Where?
Apple Music.
Website. I didn't say a streaming service.
No, I don't know it. No.
Exactly, because it doesn't exist. So when we say let me finish. What I'm saying is, and I had this conversation the other day. I saw
the conversation you were having.
Exactly, is that the way that the blacks and their music is treated is totally different than the whites. Okay, our president said for the blacks, because what the blacks do is like, we're going to release something, on a Saturday at 4:30. But when it comes time to, what's the girl's name? The little skinny girl that Kanye took the microphone from. What was her name?
Taylor Swift.
When it comes to Taylor, when it comes to, I looked it up, and I pulled the release schedule. The country artists, they have a release schedule, right? They got a schedule all the way up to the end of 2018.
So hold on. But the question is this. Jay's primary strategy is to drive title. So a release schedule, don't make that comparison. That's intellectually false.
Jay. I'm talking about the blacks.
Okay, fine. And then,
but there's whites on title, though. There's whites on title, by the way. There's
plenty of whites on title.
No, our streaming service is going to have all of it. What I'm saying about the music part of it. We're not talking about streaming. I'm talking about the black music is as somebody that I know, I love to death, says we are the bastards of the music business.
I disagree. I think a lot of black, particularly hip hop artists, a lot of hip hop artists saw Master P do what he did. Right? We all have a very good friend, E-Dub, and E-Dub's strategy always was like, I could sign this East-West contract, or who was he with? Was he East-West or was he Elektra at the time?
Yeah. He was MCA.
Okay. I could sign this contract, or I could take these records and sell them myself, and I could make $100,000 just selling them myself and not have to give anything to the record label. And so a lot of artists, particularly rap artists, have specialized in moving their product in a fashion that is around the label. They're trying to figure out how to get around the label. And now we got artists out here, unfortunately, like the boy
J&B.
that got right.
J&B.
Right. But we have artists who live a whole life and do 2-3 million streams just because they're on Instagram alone, and they're banking that promo. They're not even getting They're not even signed in many instances. Yeah. I mean, the girl Cardi B wasn't even signed and was killing it, right?
Steve Stout said it, when he was on with what's the name with Ebro, and he was saying, 30,000 units with a record label, you're not even eating. But 30,000 units on your own, you eating pretty good. If you do 30,000 units on your own, you might make $300,000. If not more, with your shows. If you do 30,000 units on your own, if you sell that, and then your shows, you're doing some music. But Lamont, let's talk about the record label.
Lamont just, hold on. No. Lamont's just mad because ain't nobody giving him a check to go do what he do. That's all.
That's not true. But anyway,
you want me to screenshot you my
you gonna pull out a cannon on him? You gonna
hit me with the invoice?
This check.
Yeah, what you don't want that, man.
You gonna hit me with the invoice?
What's the problem?
But Lamont, to Maynard's, point and what he's talking about, what is the future of the record rap? Because if I'm J and B, and then if I'm Kanye, if I'm Nas, if I'm all of these people. And if I got 3 million people that are on my social media, Instagram following, and I just say, here goes my album, you go and get it, you hear it, you ain't got to hear it no more. I don't got to hear it on the radio anymore. I've already heard it. I've already been exposed to the album, so I don't need the radio station any longer to expose me to the album when I already have it directly on my phone. Is that going to mess up the future of the record business, or the record rep, I should say?
No. Simple, no. And I'll just tell you this. Even though you have the Netflix, he just said, the Hulus, the Amazons, you have cable TV, everyone still wants to be on broadcast television if you're creating content. That's still always the goal. You know what I'm saying? Or to be, they talk about the movie industry, how it's not all of these competitors, but people still go to the movies. People still want to have that movie on that big screen. Artists still want to have that validation of the radio. That'll never, ever, ever go away. Will you still have competitors? Absolutely. But the radio is still the prize. And the data still shows, Spud, and you probably know this as well, probably you too, Maynard, that radio is still the number one driver of new music. And the reason why is because it's free. We could talk about all of this with your phone and all this other kind of stuff.
So if that's truth, then how did Chief Keef blow up?
What do you mean?
How did Extension
blow up? How did Tekashi 6? I have never heard a Tekashi 6ix9ine record on the radio.
I've never heard an Extension record.
But here's the deal. When you say blow up, tell me what you mean, because
these cats are doing. So Tekashi 6ix9ine.
I'm just asking, what is the barometer for blowing up?
Is he the hottest artist in New York City right now?
Who, Tekashi?
Yeah.
Stop. Maynard, stop.
I'm just saying.
I've been waiting on you to say something silly so I could just end the podcast right now. You're getting real close, brother. You're getting real close.
All right, but I mean,
ending or what? Are we good?
Huh?
Is this it? This is the end?
Oh, I'm just saying.
We'll see you next week. Thank you.
Is he the hottest? Let me call Ebro and ask him, did he have to put him on the stage if he's so hot? For Summer Jam.
But I think it goes back to the J and B philosophy. What is hot and what is not?
Exactly.
I don't need but Tekashi 6ix9ine doesn't need Ebro to be hot. He's already hot.
He's hot.
Okay, but so why was he in the parking lot at MetLife talking about let me in, please let me in?
He wants on the stage. That doesn't make him not hot. He wants on the stage.
If you got a million views
this is
on
the question.
YouTube,
this is the question.
You got 10 million views on YouTube. Does that make you not hot? That to me is you pretty high if you got 10 million views out here.
I don't know one Tekashi 6ix9ine radio record at all.
Let's take it to XXXTentacion, where his album sales went 548% higher when he died. Nobody even knew. I never even heard one of his songs. Tell me one of his songs that's ever been played on the radio.
I'll say again, out of that increase of airplay of streaming, 2 or 3 of them was for me. Because I said, let me see if I heard this and didn't know what it was. And I hate to say it, but I had some do stuff on my hard drive. Because I know some of his people, whatever. And they was like, yo, Lamont, can you help with this? I'm like, this is garbage. And I didn't even know it was the same little kid. You know what I'm saying?
Now the boy dies and now it's hot.
That's what I said. You die and you hot out here. You know what I'm saying? That's how this works. Yeah, that's how it works. Maynard?
I mean, the boy back in March, the boy peaked at number 5 on Billboard. I didn't even know he had a song back in March. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Number 5 is kind of high, I think. I don't know. Out of 100 songs, you're the 5th best song, if you will. I don't know if you want to use the word best, but you peaked at number 5. That's a big deal. And that it was not
a Matrix. No, you're right. I agree. No, I agree. It does.
And there wasn't no radio support for anything. I don't know I don't know how it happened. I mean, I've come to the conclusion that I'm an old head and that I don't know what these cats are doing and how they do it, but I'm amazed that whatever they do, they get millions of people to follow them on Instagram, millions of people to follow them on Facebook and Twitter and Snapchat or wherever else, and that has moved the units. And low key, I'm concerned for you, brother.
I'm confused. What do you mean?
I'm just saying that these cats.
Lamont always gonna have a smart bank account.
What you concerned about?
But I'm saying though, these cats are absolutely finding ways to go around your segment of the business. And I ain't necessarily concerned about you. I know you a vet, but I'm saying, like Spudd said, this is changing the importance of the record rep. I think it also is changing the importance of radio. If
you see the record rep right now, they're doing more posts on their Instagram pages than before. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. They're supposed to do that. They should do that. They should support their artists, but that is where the music industry, in my opinion, I could be wrong, is going. And I think that's what to look at it like this. Lamont saying it's too much music at one time. Kanye dropped. Kid Cudi dropped. Nas dropped. This is all in what? 2 weeks?
Right.
A month? Let's just say a month. Tiana Taylor is dropping.
J&B.
J&B is dropping.
Pusha.
I mean, Pusha T dropped. That's a lot of music. So I don't need, and I didn't have to hear it on the radio in order for me to be able to say, I like this song. Let me go get it. Mm-hmm. Right? Because the radio in the past was the gateway for me to be able to say, oh, I want to support the song. I got to hear it through the radio. Now, I just go to my phone. Oh, my gosh. I go to Beyonce's, Instagram page. Oh, shoot. She dropped. Let me go and do it. Just like I did. There's no way I'm going to let the day go by without me not hearing this album, regardless of whatever it is that I got to do. If I can't find it for free, I can't go to YouTube and hear it. I can't go to Apple Music because it's not there yet. So I got to go and get me a subscription to Tidal to be able to download it. Oh, my gosh. Here's Nas's album, Ye's album, Push's album. Oh, shit. I was like, oh, my God. Why was I not on Tidal before?
But you know what's hurt? But you know what's hurting my feelings,
just for $12.99.
You know what's hurting my feelings is that you did not mention J-Rock.
J-Rock, I'm sorry, dropped.
J-Rock
dropped.
J-Rock.
J-Rock dropped.
Do album is something else. I like that.
Let's go. I'm sorry.
Yeah, okay.
My bad. J-Rock dropped.
Yeah.
So
the thing is, though, again, I feel like the artist, though, I'm still going back to like the Keefs and the Kashis, the Extensions, and the boy that they accused of murdering the boy, and it looks like there's somebody else, but the rap was a Soldier Kill boy, or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know who this guy is. I'm sure he's not getting any radio play, but all of a sudden, like, yo, I'm seeing numbers that say this boy's moving like 37,000 units already.
Yeah, but see, Maynard, here's where the flaw is with that scenario, is that in Detroit, and I remember this back in the 80s, there was a station called WDRQ, right? And they would play all of these, like, what we call crossover records, Tears for Fears, all top 40 records or whatever. But there was always this underground, that is your era, where you go get your cassette tapes of your Eric B. and Rakim, your KRS, one that they didn't play on the radio, and that was the underground. Am I right?
Sure. Yeah, that's right.
Right.
But I think what's happening is, just like the record industry made a mistake somehow and slipped where MP3s were coming out in the Napster age and all that, and everybody lost their mind, the record industry wanted to keep it this way. And they were able to convince the artists to keep it this way. But now the artists are saying, nope, we're going to do it this way. We're going to do something different. And the industry, even I think the streaming services, are a way for the the industry to try to keep it the way they want to keep it and keep the artist signed to something. I don't know what that something has to be. You know, at some point, Apple Music is going to be the record label, or it's going to be Spotify is the record label. I don't know. But the artists are saying, I don't need to do that anymore. I can do this, and I'm going to go around you. And I think that the industry, again, is missing how to better serve the consumer, and as the second consumer in the process is the artist.
So here's what I'm going to say, and here's my prediction. 10 years from now, no streaming service.
I think,
What's it gonna be?
Sooner or later, we're going to have to figure out.
We're going to be buying CDs and tapes?
No, it's not going to be CDs and tapes. It's going to be something different.
Oh, we jumping on vinyl?
I don't know what it is, because if you look at the stats, the vinyl sales are through the roof. I don't know what it's going to be. But this audio peep show that we pay for every month has to stop. It makes no sense.
I agree, because you're leasing the record.
Yes.
You don't own the record anymore.
Exactly. It got to change. One day people are going to figure out, wait a minute, this is dumb. It makes no sense. And what happens when I don't have that $12.99? Because you really don't have J&B. No. I don't have J&B. No. I don't have 444. I don't have none of that. You feel what I'm saying?
I got 444.
You don't really have it, Maynard.
I'm not going
to
tell
you. Stole it?
Hey, wait.
Yeah,
allegedly.
You know what I'm saying? You were a pirate with the
No, I have it on a CD.
Oh, you did purchase it?
Oh, where are you going to CD it from?
No, he's lying. Look at his face. He's lying.
No, you can buy the CD.
You can buy the CD.
No, but he's lying. Look at his face.
No, I didn't.
He burned it to a CD.
No, hold on. I said I have it on a CD. I didn't say anything about I bought it. I didn't say anything.
You stole the
I didn't
music.
say I stole it either. I'm just saying I got it on a CD. I mean,
so what I'm saying though, for real though, sooner or later people are going to figure out that this is not, the novelty of it is going to, it's going to change. Just like Laserdisc. And I always tell everybody this. I remember I had to buy Godfather 1, 2, and 3 on a big Laserdisc. I thought this was it.
You bought Godfather 3 on a Laserdisc? That came out in like 1990?
How you going to be a black person and not have Godfather 1, 2, and 3 on every available media?
Laserdisc was dead by time 3 came out.
No.
Laserdisc was gone, my dude. Godfather 3 came out Christmas of
1, 2, and 3.
Godfather 3 came out Christmas of like 89 or 90. VHS had one. DVD was coming in. Laserdisc died out in the 70s. You walking around. Laserdisc was like as big as a record.
Did you say in the 70s?
Yes.
The last thing I got on a Laserdisc was Cheech and Chong. That was the last thing I got.
No. Watch this. Well, that's impossible, man. I was born in the 70s.
Yeah, Laserdisc died out like it was dying out like 79, 80. VHS was VHS was already winning.
No, VHS came before the Laserdisc, man.
Yeah, but VHS lasted significantly longer than the Laserdisc. Lamont?
Gotcha.
Okay, let's move on. Let's get to Donald Trump and the Trumpettes, ladies and gentlemen. The immigration is ridiculous. I don't know. I'm over it now. Before it was kind of like, let's just kind of see how this all plays out with Donald Trump and the whole nine. Now I'm officially like, this guy is just ridiculous. I don't even know what to even say. Here's my question though. Let me challenge the conversation, Maynard. His philosophy and why he was doing the separation of kids. His philosophy, correct me if I'm wrong, is we got to be tough on the border. We got to send a strong message that you just cannot send your kids to America without being legal and expect for them to come into America and be lost in the system and then become I guess a citizen or a resident or a legal alien of you, or be a part of the American system. And so his thought process, from what I heard, was, look, we got to be tough on the borders. We got to be extremely, tough on immigration. Was his philosophy right or wrong in what he was trying to accomplish? Because at the end of the day, he wants the wall. And so I think that he was trying to say, I'm going to do this until I get my wall.
I feel like his philosophy, let's back up. Philosophy means that there was some thought. And I think there was thought. First, we need to understand that in the beginning he said, these people, the very beginning, talking about coming down the elevator, they're the worst. They bring in drugs, they rape, they murder, they do all these things. They're gang members, all these things. And as you start to label people in this fashion, and you start to dehumanize them, then it makes it easy for people to have no care for them. Cat Williams said it best. When they called them people insurgents, I was like, I don't have no insurgent friends. You can kill all of them.
Right.
So, he dehumanized them. And he called, and it was just a couple of weeks ago, he was like, they're animals. And they kept saying they're animals and they're animals and they're animals. And then he brought up, just this past week, the families of what he called angel families, people whose loved ones unfortunately died at the hands of an illegal alien for some reason. But I think the angel families that, if we want to call that a thing, the angel families that we should be concerned about is the 50 people who were murdered in Vegas, or the people who Adam Lanza killed, their families, or the people in, that rampant gun violence occurs in this country. And a lot of times it happens because some white man did it, or some black man did it, or some other American did it. But we don't call those families angel families. So he's trying to push an agenda that these people are other, they are different, they're gang members, or whatever the case may be, even if they're 7-month-old children. So he was wrong, and he wants to make it seem as if these people are monsters, and that's who's coming to our country, and that's false.
I forgot the guy who was he was on with Wolf Blister. And I think he's the head of the border or something of that nature, so don't quote me on that. But he was saying the people who come through, these families and kids who come to the border, 90% of them are great kids. They're great families. They're all polite. They're all nice. And Wolf Blitzer asked, why is the president making them out to be something that they're not? If you're saying that these families are good, they're polite, they're respectable, they don't have any criminal history or anything like that, why is the president trying to make them out to be something that they're not? And that's, to your point, he wants to dehumanize them. He wants the base to feel like they're something that they're not, because that's what he got elected on last time.
How you feel about it, Lamont?
You don't really want to know.
I do want to know.
We want to know.
You really don't.
We really want to know, Lamont.
I think I can't just pick up and go to China.
China.
China. Just buy me a ticket or get on the boat and just stay. I just can't. Sooner or later, I got to go home. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there has to be some sort of rule or regulation. So, in my opinion, I think what he's trying to do, he's kind of right, but of course, Donald Trump, he's going to mess up everything. And he's actually not messing it up. He's doing what he's doing, like you just said, on purpose. But there does need to be something in place on how do we kind of work on this whole immigration thing. Because, again, just me, I think we do need to have some sort of rule and regulations, which are in place. Of course, you don't take babies away from their parents. You know what I'm saying? Like, I read something the other day where there was a lady that came over in maybe 2007 or whatever it was from Guatemala, and she went to jail, and they ended up putting her baby up for adoption because they said she abandoned the baby. I'm like, whoa, you know what I mean? So then I'm sitting there thinking,
they either are up for adoption or either going to the foster care system.
But one of
the foster care system.
The crazy part is,
I'm just saying, like, it's just the whole thing is just messed up, and for something that's messed up, trying to get Donald Trump to fix it, it's just going to mess it up worse. But he is right. There does need to be something that does have to be done about.
Right, but Lamont, this is the thing, though. This is the simplest thing. They're illegal. it's cheaper to fill up planes and return them to the countries they came from in family units than to put them in prison or to separate them or to create all this additional havoc. And but what there's another sneaky piece that we have to understand. That's what
Mexico should be paying for. That's what Mexico should be paying
for.
But
hold on, the large majority of these people aren't even from Mexico. But the sneaky thing is that the people who are running the prisons are getting rich as a result of this. That even if it's just a local jail, that there's a guy who's making $37,000 a year who's all of a sudden making $45,000 a year in overtime. Just because these beds are full, and hey, we need more sheriff deputies out here, and then they'll just keep making more overtime and more money, and so here we are again showing that America has a corporate interest in benefiting off the bodies of black and brown people, and that's.
Are they working in these detention centers?
I'm sorry.
Are they working?
The kids are not.
Are the adults? What do the adults do all day? Are they working? Are they making anything?
You know what? I don't know. I think the news has not. I don't think that they're making anything. Okay. But
because you know where I was going, it's a labor thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But it doesn't even have to be labor anymore. Just having the bodies. Once you privatize the prisons, having the bodies is a labor enough because it gives 1,000 other people jobs to go out there and be the overseers. I'm sorry. Officers.
Gotcha. Officers.
Right.
Of these bodies, and in many instances, you could take a guy who's a high school graduate who probably was not necessarily going to make a ton of money and wasn't going to become a doctor or a lawyer or whatever, and you don't have to be those things. But now all of a sudden he's making $130,000 a year just because he's just going to work every day and just hitting people with sticks.
Allegedly.
Thank you.
Allegedly. But what's the deal? I don't know, man. You don't have to separate these families, and that's the horrible downside.
Well, Maynard, again, 97% of the things that you say I don't agree with, but the one thing that you did say is, and this is very simple. Like, yo, dog, you can't be here. You got to go. Turn around and walk back.
Just go.
You got to go. Why am I putting you on the bus? You got to go back where you came from.
Because there's no money in making them leave. The money is making them stay. It's just like the medical industry. There's no money in curing the disease. It's, keeping the disease around long enough. That's where the money is.
Right.
Melania Trump in the jacket. Now, we usually tread lightly on Melania. I like Melania. I don't have any issues with Melania. I thought that what she did by going to Texas was, very noble and I appreciate the fact that she went down there. I don't know how we turned that situation into a negative situation with the jacket. I mean, how do we get to the jacket part? I mean, the jacket has
hold on, Spud. You didn't open it up. Here we go.
No,
go ahead, Lamont. Get it in.
Here's where you messing up, Spud, and this is where everybody else didn't get it. And I'm gonna say this again. Y'all didn't peep the green and white Stan Smith she had on with the jacket. Did you see that, Maynard?
No.
She had the old school Stan Smith. Melania, I'm gonna say this wrong. She be dressing. Melania be dressing, dude. She was matching.
That she can do.
Her
fashion game is on 100.
Exactly. So, man, like I said, what you expect? I mean, it's like one day if we do this podcast and Maynard is sitting where he's sitting and he pulls out a crack pipe and starts smoking it.
Whoa.
I'm gonna be like, what's wrong with you, Maynard? Like, that's not what you do. You know what I mean? So
no,
this is what Melania
does not do that. Hold on for a second. Hold on for a second. Hold on for a second, my man. Right. I need to. Can't come. I don't do that.
You don't smoke crack?
There's no smoking of any crack.
Right.
Ever.
Exactly.
Ever.
Right.
Now,
so what I'm saying
I have sold Lamont a dime bag of some crack. I don't even. Does crack come in dime bags?
You know what's funny? I'm sorry. This is such a sidebar, and I think we talked about this before. But I was watching Freeway Ricky's documentary, and I used to be like, and I was watching it, and I was like, this is the 80s. First of all, Ice Cube was like way before his time on Dope Man during that that era. But that's a sidebar. But I was thinking like, yo, where did they even get crack pipes from? I don't ever remember walking into a store and they were like crack pipes for sale. Like, where did they even get crack pipes? Like, but anyways, that's a whole other story. At any rate, the jacket.
Maynard, do you have an answer for that? Who manufactured the crack pipes?
You got crack pipes wherever you got them. I don't know. What do I know? I used to make them 10 for $1. And
what's your thoughts on the jacket, Maynard?
It's a bad look, man. When the first lady does anything, any first lady ever, any first lady that's ever been the first lady, back to Dolly Madison, Martha Washington, whoever, Mary Todd Lincoln, Michelle Obama.
I'm sorry, did you say Dolly Madison?
Yeah.
Ain't that the cupcake lady?
No.
Okay, my fault.
You try to come in here with some shade and just...
No, I'm just saying, isn't that the cupcake lady?
Yo, is there a pause button for Lamont?
That's not the cupcake lady?
Well, no, that's not who we're talking about. There may be a lady out here who makes cupcakes and her name may be Dolly or Madison, but that's not who we're talking about.
Okay. All right.
But so when Michelle Obama decided to wear her to go sleeveless, the world had an issue with that. When Barbara Bush made a comment, really a horrible comment, even after she was no longer first lady, the world had an issue with that. Nancy Reagan wore the red dress, and people understood like red was this. It was when we were starting to really entrench our red versus blue America, so to speak. People understood that when she wore the red dress, that it had meaning. So when you wear a jacket that says, "I really don't care, do you?" Like, I mean, I really don't care is a hopeless statement. I don't care. I don't have hope for this. Why should you have hope for this? And that's not what the first lady should. Now, do I think she was trying to be fashionable and she was trying to, maybe? Do I think she was trying to send a message? Probably. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, who would she be sending a message to?
Maybe she's sending. There's so much mystery in this. Could she be saying, "I really don't care about Donald Trump"? Do you? That may be what she's saying. I don't know. Because she did, in fact, with her statements, challenge Donald Trump on the where the border situation and the separation of the families was concerned. She came out against him, and then the jacket showed up. So maybe she's taking shots at D Trizzle.
D Trizzle.
Maynard, you know what? You're a part of fake news. You know why? You know why, Maynard?
No,
why you're fake news?
Hold on for a second.
Because in 1937 is when the Dolly Madison Bakery was founded.
Doofus.
Who was the wife of the president. Would you apologize to me and to everybody listening on this podcast?
I said there may be a woman. I said there may be a woman named Dolly.
Was it the cupcake lady? You said no.
No.
Who
was I talking about?
Did you say no?
Again,
you said Dolly Madison.
Is there a pause button for Lamont? Is there a fallback button, a dump button? Do we have a duck button, maybe?
So I'm saying, Spudd.
I think I said no too, so I'm sorry if I'm wrong.
No, but Maynard was more adamant about it being wrong than you were.
Oh, you just want to pick on Maynard.
I got a less of a wrong. Well, you was a little wrong, but Maynard was really wrong.
He was really wrong. So
who came first, Lamont? Who came first? Who came?
Chicken or the egg?
The chicken or the egg?
Yes.
No, the cupcake or
the cupcake or the wife or the president of the vice president Dolly Madison.
No. The company was named after her.
Okay, right. 100 years later, almost.
What are you talking about?
I'm saying, I said there may be a woman named Dolly or Madison that makes cupcakes, but that's not who I'm talking about. You can rewind the tape. Did I not?
No, you were talking about the president's wife.
I always was.
And then I said, isn't that the cupcake lady?
No, there is no cupcake lady. They named a.
Listen. Just to be clear, Lamont, there is no Aunt Jemima. Okay, there is no Aunt Jemima, right?
What you mean?
There ain't no Aunt Jemima. There really wasn't an Aunt Jemima walking through. Uncle Ben really wasn't walking through these streets. I just want to be very clear.
Yes, it was. There was a slave named Ben that master called Uncle. You know what I'm saying? Because
this is the reason why we were. This is the reason why we were put on hiatus for a week once before because of Lamont's craziness.
Right.
Listen, I don't want to run afoul with the company, Lamont. The company. Listen, man.
Okay. So can we?
Do we have to edit? Do we have to edit Lamont out with this?
No.
We can let this go.
I want to clear this one thing out.
Will the censors get us Spud? Will the censors get us on this?
No.
On Nas's album, Nas talked about all of these things that black people created. There's a line where he said that a black person created Fox News. Did you catch that line, Maynard or Spud?
No, I didn't miss that. What song is that on?
I got to go back and listen to it. I think it was.
There's only like 2 records that's kind of hot on Nas's album.
Yeah, the last 3 records are hot. The last 3 records are the hottest.
Kid is hot.
No.
What was the last 3 one I agree with? What's the last 3 on there? Let me go to my title app.
I don't even know.
You guys should know off the top of your head.
So anyhow, you're saying that a black man created Fox News, Lamont. So tell me what am I supposed to take away from that?
No, I'm asking. Is that true?
I don't know the answer to that. I mean,
because I thought homeboy Murdoch. Yeah.
I don't know the answer to that.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah. No. It says Fox News was started by a black dude. Also true, and this was in Not for the Radio, and I'm like. Nas, are you sure? Maybe he knows something I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, at the end of the day, it belongs to Fox Television Entertainment originally.
That doesn't mean that black man didn't have the same views as Fox News does.
It doesn't mean that he did. It doesn't mean he didn't.
I'm just saying he said that it was started by. I'm just asking.
Are we proud of that?
Maynard,
I don't know.
No. Maynard told me that there was no Dolly Madison cupcake lady.
I didn't tell you. There's no lady that's a Dolly Madison cupcake lady. They may have named, listen, they may have named it after her, after Dolly Madison, who passed, but she never made cupcakes for mass production and sale around the country.
I didn't say that. I said it was
she's not the cupcake lady. No, she's not.
She never walked around giving out cupcakes.
I didn't say that. I said the
president's wife. The president's wife was stocking vending machines.
Right. You're right.
and get these cupcakes for sale.
The reason why I know that
when all the slave masters came over, they was like, you know what? I'm gonna offer you some cupcakes. I'm gonna give you some cupcakes. I make cupcakes.
I never could afford the Dolly Madison cupcakes. My mom was like, no, we're not buying that. That's a little too high.
Oh, goodness.
So I know there was some Dolly Madison cupcakes. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
But you tried to tell me that it wasn't, and that's okay.
No? Okay. So anyhow,
all right, ladies and gentlemen, let's move on to the cactus of the week. This is where somebody says some stupid ish and they got to choke on their words. Maynard, who gets the cactus this week?
You know, low key, I don't want to do a cactus. I want to do something. I want to change up. I hope you guys will give me some space, some latitude. This is the end of Black Music Month, and I really wanted to speak a little bit about Black Music Month in a way, particularly where hip hop is concerned, that's special to me. And, you know, much like Lamont, I wrote a thesis. This Black Music Month is 30 years after the anniversary of Public Enemy's release of It Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back. And the album came out at the height of consciousness hip hop. The music genre is full of thought-provoking and uplifting acts like KRS-One, many of the artists in the Native Tongue movement, Queen Latifah, Stetson Sonic, Poor Righteous Teacher, etc. And their freshman offering, Public Enemy gave us Yo Bum Rush Your Show, which was just kind of, it was a warning of a coming, of something bigger on the horizon. And Yo Bum Rush Your Show was kind of like the ticking of the alarm clock. It wasn't yet the alarm. And we waited, and then we got It Takes a Nation of Millions. And that it wasn't a ringing alarm, but more like a bomb. It exploded into our airways with hit singles like Bring the Noise, Don't Believe the Hype. And because of those kinds of singles, it's no wonder why in 2003 it was ranked 48th on Rolling Stone's top 500 greatest albums. And it's the only hip hop album in the top 100 of their greatest 500. So it's the highest ranking black album on that list. That doesn't mean that list is the be all to end all, but that's an important distinction. Later we got, Night of the Living Basshead and Rebel Without a Pause, and it was like the perfect soundtrack of the late 80s.
All that's on that one album?
Yeah, and we ain't got to the big one yet. It was a perfect soundtrack for the inner city of America. The crack epidemic was occurring, and we are living just in the shadow of the civil rights movement in the haze of the 70s and the Reagan era of the 80s, and we didn't know what was to lie ahead. But it set the tone for Spike Lee to drop Do the Right Thing, for John Singleton to come out with Boys in the Hood. And then another movie that we all watch really kind of continued to outrage us was Rodney King's Beating. This album would go on to set the stage for Ice Cube's America's Most Wanted and Death Certificate, and would inform Chicago rapper Common and shape the conversation the Ghetto Boys would bring us. So then the Truest Bomb blew up, and they dropped, for me, the Truest Bomb blew up. Black Steel in the Hour of Chaos, also from that album.
I got a letter from the government the other day.
Whew, I get chills every time I think about just the idea that I got a letter from the government the other day. I opened and read it, and it said they were suckers. Like, yo, that just, it perfectly crystallizes the intelligence of hip hop, along with the outrage and the controlled anger that they brought. And it opened up my eyes to so much. I thank Public Enemy for this album. I think it's one of the most important albums in hip hop. Hip hop is better because it was released, because this album was released. I have great sorrow that in a few short years we turned to the material hip hop and the bling hip hop and the shiny suit hip hop, and also the bitches and hoes misogyny hip hop that just seemed to be more prevalent from that day forward. I wish that we could get back to that, but shout out to the staff, man, that was on that. It was Eric Sadler and Hank Shockley, Chuck, obviously. Even, obviously there are some people who were just on the album, like Griff and Flav, but all of that's to me been the most important album in hip hop all my life, and that's what I wanted to say.
So being that Maynard took your shot, I take it that you don't have Black Music Month person this week.
Maynard he's just, nah, man, it's all good, man.
Listen, I, as you were saying that, it's amazing. I think back, almost every song on that album had a video.
Yeah. And what we didn't know when it came out in 88, that in 89, the Greek Fest thing that was jumping off in Virginia Beach, Virginia, and the whole strife and struggle between the black participants and particularly the white residents and the business owners at the oceanfront, that thing would blow up. And Public Enemy came back and brought us a video on that. If you remember, Flav is in the Jeep, and they in Beach County, and they talking about, basically we about to riot, we about to get it. They treating us bad, and they get pulled over by the cops and all that. And they were informative on the culture in a major fashion, man. I don't think anybody has, I think everyone who's been informative on the culture after them has either done a decent job, not necessarily a great job, or some of which have done some very superficial things, until we get to some of the deepest stuff that Jay has had. Obviously, Childish Gambino gave us This Is America this year, which is, amazing. We just need more of that.
You should hear Pharrell did an interview with Spike Lee about how he got Chuck D to do Fight the Power. It's pretty powerful, how that whole thing, came about. Anyways, anything else? Shout outs to anybody, ladies and gentlemen? Want to give some shout outs? Anybody want to give some shout outs?
I want to give a shout out to the lady at the Popeyes drive-thru. I got a 4-piece wing and a biscuit yesterday, man, and it was the hottest chicken I ever had, in my whole life. So, shout out to the lady at Popeyes. I appreciate that.
That's it.
That's all I got, bro.
Shout out to our previous two guests. What's Ebony Cochran and Azim. I gotten great feedback from people who have been thankful, particularly for Ebony's piece on credit. And I hope that, you guys can follow up with her and work on your credit. I think we need to, I don't know how you guys feel about it, but health is on the horizon. That we need to have another discussion about that sooner or later. But we just want to help folks, man.
Truly. We'll get with you guys again next Tuesday right here. 3 Black Guys with the Mic. Make sure you join the conversation on our Facebook page at facebook.com/3blackguys with the mic. Go to the website as well. You see Maynard has one on. Grab yourself a t-shirt. Grab yourself a mug. Grab yourself a phone case. Whatever. We got it all. So go to 3blackguyswiththemic.com. Grab yourself some merch, baby. We'll
no crack pipes, right? No crack pipes?
No crack pipes.
No. I'm working on them. I'm working on them. Oh, no, don't work on
bongs?
them?
We might get some bongs, though.
No.
We out. We'll talk to y'all again next Tuesday on 3 Black Guys with the Mic. Holla.
Peace.